Hey guys, so I am today in the Museum of War History here in Athens, and I want to go in to check it out, see what they have there. But first of all, the entrance is absolutely amazing. Have a look at this. They have all these amazing warplanes just displayed in front of the museum, and it gives you a glimpse of what you might find inside. So you have let's say a more modern one here, and then you have a rocket, I'm guessing a World War II fighter plane, it looks like, or bomber. Then you have another rocket and a few other planes that just look amazing at the entrance. So let's go inside, have a look. Oh, there's a helicopter there. It's so cool. Let's have a look at the museum. Let's see what's inside. So here we have the sword and dagger collection, medieval swords, modern age, and so on. All shapes and sizes. Luxurious European pistols. They even have a samurai, really cool. Check it out. Traditional Japanese protection war dress. So this is an Indian saber. Then you have Turkish lance, Turkish swords, and then you have Persian rifles. And the detail on this are amazing. Details are so intricate on all of these rifles. This is a Russian armor and headgear that they would wear. Apparently it was from the horseback regiment of the Tsar of Russia. You can see the Russian inscription on it as well. Alright, so I have just come out of the museum just now. And I can honestly say that this was one of the best war history museums that I've seen so far, and I have seen quite a few. And it's quite interesting because it's not that large, not that big of a museum, but actually it shows you kind of the progression of various weapons of war throughout time, right? So it really starts in the ancient Athens time period. And it shows you what the weapons were at that time. It tells you about the battles, the conflicts that were there, how the Greeks fought, Byzantians and Spartans and so on and so forth. Right? It shows you the ships that they had at the time, how they built them. They have little mock-ups of the ships, of some wreckage that they found. So that's the ancient Greece, and then it moves on kind of step by step through each time period. So after that there was the wars with Byzantium, and then Persian wars, and then French conquest, and so on and so forth. So they move step by step through each period, and they show you artifacts from each of those periods separately. And it's especially interesting when you come into the modern age and you can see the major wars of the 20th century, right? First World War, Second World War. They show you what the situation was, what the major battles were. They show you equipment, they show you technology that they had, ships, airplanes, firepower, and so on, right? So really interesting. And then after that they show you a few of the wars where Greeks were involved after that. So they were even involved in the Korean Wars, which I didn't know. That was quite interesting. They were involved in a few other wars, in the Balkan Wars, obviously, because they're in the Balkans. And they show you what equipment they sent, what kind of troops they sent, what was their involvement in that, right? So really interesting. They show you kind of the equipment that they had, and I especially like the World Wars section because they show you the progression of equipment and technology, and how the technology impacted the wars that happened at that time, right? So how they became more and more technologically advanced, and how wars changed from that. So basically there were trench warfare in the first part, and then where they had tanks and airplanes and things like that that could basically destroy trench warfare. They moved on to speedier kind of wars, blitzkrieg and so on. They tell you about the occupation that Germany, Germany occupied Greece, so they tell you about that. So they kind of give you a really nice overview of the how people were, how people fought during all these times, right? How the wars happened, and what technology was involved in the wars. So another thing that I found really interesting is that on the outside of the museum, you don't even have to go in to see this, but on the outside they have all these pieces of technology from modern age wars, right? So if you look behind me, you have firepower. So these things, the rocket launchers, and the firepower that they use in First World War, Second World War, things like that. In the front of the museum they have airplanes, which is really cool, and I'm gonna have a walk around there. They have airplanes, they have helicopters. Down below here they have a submarine. I don't know if you can see that, a small submarine. They have machines, cars and equipment like that, and that's about it down below in front. So really interesting. I do recommend you to come and visit. It's really cheap. I paid €6 for a regular price. You can get discount if you're a student, or for some other reason. There are discounts. It's €4 I think, but even €6, I mean, you get to spend a couple of hours, 1 to 2 hours throughout the history of Greece, and they show you what happened throughout the history. So really interesting. I do recommend you check it out if you are in Athens. So there you go. That is all for today. A nice little museum that gives you a glimpse into the past of Greece.